Have you ever wondered what truly separates a good punch from a lights-out knockout? It's a question fighters, coaches, and fans obsess over. And tonight I want to take you somewhere most people don't look, under the hood. We're not talking bravado, trash talk, or raw ego. We're talking about the hidden science and surprising biomechanics behind the most devastating strikes in combat sports. Prepare to see knockout punches in a whole new, mind-blowing way. Forget everything you thought you knew about the knockout punch. We're about to expose the precise, almost surgical mechanics that turn a simple strike into an instant KO. This isn't just about power, it's about physics, timing, and a shocking amount of precision. Get ready to understand the true artistry of the savage knockout. Imagine standing in the center of the cage or ring. The lights are hot, the crowd is low, constant thrum. You feel the rhythm of the fight, the jabs, the feints, your opponent breathes. One perfect landed punch, one split-second connection, and everything changes. The fight stops. The world narrows to that impact. But what makes that punch perfect? That's the puzzle we're solving tonight. So let's break it down. Not emotionally, not rhetorically, but mechanically. What's happening from the shoes on the mat to the brain behind the skull when a knockout occurs? There are 5 components that, when aligned, turn a strike into a knockout. The kinetic chain, velocity, leverage and angle, target and timing, and neurological effect. Miss one and the punch is just another solid hit. Nail them all and the lights go out. Every devastating punch starts at the ground. The force doesn't originate in the fist, it originates in the feet, travels through the legs, is amplified by the hips, guided through the torso, and finally released through the shoulder and fist. We call this the kinetic chain. If your feet don't push, your hips don't pivot, and your shoulders don't align, you're throwing arm power alone. That's why the same weight class of the same person can throw 2 shots, one that tickles and one that floors someone, simply because of better sequencing. In short, footwork and hip rotation are the engine. People assume more mass equals more damage, but physics tells us something else. Kinetic energy scales with the square of velocity. That means a small increase in speed produces a disproportionately bigger increase in energy on impact. So that snap, that whip at the end of the punch, that microsecond of extra speed can be the difference between a heavy bruise and a knockout. It's why shorter, snappier punches delivered with explosive hip torque can be more dangerous than slow, plodding power shots. It's not just how hard you hit, it's how the head or body is rotated by the hit. A punch that rotates the head on its axis produces rotational acceleration inside of the skull, and rotational forces are especially vicious for the brain. Think of the jaw as a lever. A well-placed hook or uppercut that snaps the jaw upward or sideways amplifies the rotational force through the brainstem. That rotation shears delicate neural connections and disrupts the brain's ability to coordinate. And that sudden disruption equals unconsciousness. So angle and leverage are surgical tools. Hit along the right vector and the brain's equilibrium collapses. There are common knockout targets for a reason. They're vulnerable. The chin, the temple, the jawline, and for body shots, the liver. A blow to the temple or jaw maximizes rotational acceleration. A clean shot to the chin acts like a fulcrum that twists the skull. A liver shot causes a systematic reflexive response. The body shuts down. It's not random. The best finishers are precise. Tiny windows, half-centimeter adjustments. That's why the greatest fighters are also great aimers. Timing is the multiplier that turns everything up to 11. A punch that lands on a stationary target is more effective than one that lands on a moving target. But even more important is landing when the opponent is compromising their own structure mid-exhale, during a weight shift, after they commit to a punch. Timing uses the opponent's motion against them. Boxing is often described as timing and rhythm for a reason. and perfectly timed counter uses the opponent's energies to add to its own. That's why counters, the classic right hand over the jab or the hook as someone drops their guard, produces so many knockouts. So what occurs inside of the skull, you may ask? The brain floats in cerebral palsy fluid. Sudden acceleration, particularly rotational acceleration, causes the brain to move, twist, and shear against the skull and against itself. Nerve fibers stretch and snap microstructurally. The brain's electrical patterns destabilize. Consciousness is the pattern. When the pattern is badly disrupted, the lights go out. It's fast, milliseconds, and often reversible. That's why many fighters wake up bewildered seconds later. But in that moment, the brain can't maintain the coordinated activities we call wakefulness. That's the knockout. Let's get a little tactical. Straight punches, the cross, the straight right, travel in a direct line and maximize linear velocity and reach. Hooks and uppercuts create rotational movements and are fantastic at generating leverage on the jaw. The body shot, especially the liver shot, leverages psychology, causing an autonomic shutdown rather than direct brain trauma. Short, compact punches can be faster and snag openings, fighting in a phone booth, while long blows carry momentum and reach. The best finishers often blend these: a jab to the said head up, the cross to move up, and the hook to twist it off its axis. Remember that power without opportunity is wasted. Great finishers create openings through feints, rhythm, and changes, and psychological pressure. Make the opponent respect the jab. Move them, move their head. Punish them when they overcommit. The mental game is huge. Make someone hesitate. Make them flinch. Make them commit with the wrong defense. And you widen the window of where surgical mechanics can land. It's not only about delivering KOs, it's about surviving them. Fighters who build neck strength reduce rotational acceleration of the head, thereby lowering knockout risk, conditioning balance, and perception about quicker recovery post-impact. And smart training builds the precision and timing we just described. Shadow boxing to ingrain angles, mitt work for snap and timing, sparring to calibrate distance. Knockouts look flashy, but are the product of consistent, deliberate preparation. Why obsess over these mechanics? Because understanding them changes how you train, how you watch, how you judge technique. Knockouts are not random acts of violence. They are the result of physics, biomechanics, and strategy aligning perfectly. When you see a savagely efficient knockout now, don't just feel the drama. Notice the foot that pushed at the right instant, the hip that rotated with intent, the precise angle, the tiny timing window. That's the artistry. So let me say it again. Forget everything you thought you know about the knockout punch. It's not only brawn, it's not only raw strength or lucky timing. The knockout is a surgical act, a physics problem solved in milliseconds through the kinetic chain, velocity, leverage, target, and timing. When those elements converge, the result is inevitable. Next time you watch a highlight reel, don't just cheer, but study. Watch the feet, watch the hips, watch the micro adjustments, learn the language of force and motion. Whether you train to deliver those punches, or to defend against them, or to simply appreciate the sport, understanding the science makes every knockout more incredible. Because underneath every savage knockout is a brilliant, brutal equation. And now you know how it adds up. Thank you for watching the Sportsaholic Podcast here at the Strikers Corner. Until next time, peace, y'all.